Welcome to my Bajerski YouTube channel. It's a beautiful day. Hey, this is going to be quite an interesting day, and I have to tell you from the very start, this has been, I would say, at least 12 years of people always being obsessed with me talking about a certain crystal that I was never attracted to because I was working predominantly with one particular crystal, which was Moldavite. Along the way, many people insisted, and should never insist because that, especially if you're stubborn, I won't go for it. But people were telling me, you must. And I'm saying, no, don't tell somebody you must do anything. I don't like that. Don't force it. And I think probably the force was the reason why I never really connected, because there was too much negative energy being directed to me to focus on a certain crystal, which is a tektite. So this is kind of quite an interesting day for me. I'm going to go through what happened and why I've come to this moment to share about a certain crystal that I've never talked about. So let's start at the very beginning. Let me introduce you to the crystal itself. There you go. So in coloration, I would say it's kind of it reminds me of Vaseline colour. So you can see through it. It's got this very opaque looking energy. I've got a few here. I've got another one here, which is just out like that. Then I've got one round my neck, which I've been working with for a while now. There you go. Hello. So I had to clear away all thoughts and feelings about what was said to me a long time ago, what I should have, could have, would have done, and started afresh with this crystal. I'd heard on the grapevine that there were some beautiful crystals available. So a dear friend of mine showed me about 7 different types of crystals, and one of them was this crystal. So there was a collection of these, and I said, "You've never had them before?" He said, "No, but they're really quite beautiful, Mark." And I said, "Well, for some reason I've never really been drawn to it, so let me take some and see for the first time. Let me give it a go." Felt right for some reason for the first time. So they were sent to me, and this is, you'll be wondering what it is. Most of you probably already know. They call it Libyan desert glass. So it looks like glass a little bit, but it's a tektite. And a tektite, like all the tektites that I work with, are very unusual energy. Very, very unusual. And to be honest, it's not a simple case of holding it and getting it within the first 20 seconds like most crystals. These tektites take some time to understand them. And like any tektite, and I've worked with tons of tektites from all over the world, this tektite I wanted to really embrace and work on in an energy of not being biased, not being judgmental, just allowing the crystal and feeling it through the day and night. So this crystal that I have on next to my trio, which in fact you have 3 tektites here today. You have tektite here from Thailand, Cambodia, possibly. This one is from, I believe, Libya, from the desert, I believe. And this is the Moldavite that you all know comes from the Czech Republic. So 3, interesting, eh? First thing, I started to wear the crystal and just see how it felt for a couple of weeks. Just wanted to feel that energy. And in that embrace, in that moment of those days and weeks, I wanted to feel if there was any difference with my character, with my energy, with the energy around me, and what was happening predominantly within me. So thoughts, feelings, physical, emotional, all everything that's happening, my reactions, I wanted to see what it was doing. Now I've got to be honest, I didn't really feel that much of a difference. From the moment of handling it till the moment of putting it around my neck for them 2 weeks, I didn't really feel any thunderbolt and lightning strikes at all. At all. That's my honest opinion. However, as the weeks went by, I started noticing a few different things happening around me and within me. And if you were to ask me now, what was the most predominant feeling that you got from 2 weeks prior to now? What's really been the emphasis? What's really stood out? And I've got to say, what stood out to me within myself was a kind of calmness, a kind of acceptance, a kind of realization, and a kind of deeper awareness. And I think when you have a deeper awareness of life, you don't react as quick, you don't get upset, you don't feel suicidal or angry. So I actually felt that through those few weeks, the emotions that I used to get seems to be a lot less because of my awareness of inner and surrounding. So my full awareness of within and surrounding me heightened. So there was a lot more calmness about me. I felt different. Protection, I actually felt more protected as well. Almost to the point that I didn't even know that I felt protected until I looked back and thought, you know what? Everything has been a little bit more on a protective level. You've felt more secure. You've felt more stronger, more powerful. You've felt more aware. Your reactions have not been as crazy as they normally are. My emotions, which can be triggered when I see bad things happen and I get upset, weren't as bad because I looked deeper into things. So if you were to ask me, okay, Matt, be honest, what do you think to Libyan desert? I would say it's an awareness crystal. That's what I think thus far of how it's helped me. So I then started to work with it on a night on meditation. Now that is an interesting thing because when you're working on meditation, whether it be absent healing, whether it's healing yourself, whether you're trying to connect to the spirit world, whether you're doing some kind of astral travel or something that you want to just push the borders out and you want to break free. I held Libyan desert in my hand, nothing else. And through that, the holding of the crystal, as I was meditating, my meditation, again, the awareness was much more stronger. I have to admit it was more stronger, more powerful, more intense. So there was something about Libyan desert that was happening. Now you've got to understand, you can't just say in a day or an hour or a minute that this is what the crystal does, because a lot of the times the crystal helps you become aware of your own natural gift. So you have to figure out, what is it actually doing? On my meditation, on me, just on me, holding the crystal and meditating with it, you feel more balanced. So what happens is the worst kind of negative energy. So let's say your body is split into 5 parts. One of those parts is a lower energy than the other 4. The Libyan desert targets the weakest or the most vulnerable or the most painful or whatever the most heaviest energy is. And it clears that away to bring more of a peace and balance to the rest of all your body. So when we're looking at emotional and physical, mental, and all of those emotions and in all different ways, all energies in different ways, Libyan desert helps clear the heaviest of energy. Now, protection, this is really getting to be the best bit for me. What I noticed when I started wearing it, I don't know how many weeks it's been. It's been weeks and weeks since I got it, but like I started noticing something that it takes a while. It takes a while. You've got to be, and you've got to be aware of everything, of past, present, and what's about to happen. It's like, whoa. And then suddenly struck me. I am not running away from people like I did before. Not the same. I might just get up and say, okay, guys, gotta go now. And then before I was like, I was getting angry. My body was telling me, oh, be careful, get away quickly as you can. I started getting terrible pains. Now, people still come around me this morning down in Fuengirola. I had some breakfast. I sat where nobody would sit. And sure enough, a woman comes and sits right next to me. The guy behind the desk looked at me and said, nobody ever sits here. He says, now there's you and now somebody's next to you. It's weird. And I said, yeah. I didn't run off. I just had my breakfast and didn't run off. But the point being is that when I'm wearing it, I'm not as affected as much as when it's not on me. I'm affected more, absolutely, when it's not on me. So I have to say that Libyan desert is a protective crystal for your energy. That's my understanding of it. Really is. What are the feelings that you get when you start doing self-healing with a crystal, with Libyan desert? Here's what I wrote it down actually, but then I thought, forget it. And I'm just going to go through it now. When I sit and do self-healing, which is sometimes 2 or 3 times a day, sometimes I miss out because I'm so busy doing other things. But when I sit and meditate with a crystal like this one, I'll hold it in my hands and normally squeeze it and place my other hand here and just hold it somewhere where I'm comfortable. And then I start the healing work. So I start to, first of all, I normally work from my feet upwards, and that's a kind of scan. So I hold the crystal and scan my body. What is the crystal doing when I am doing self-healing on myself? That's the question. Well, after finishing about half an hour working with this crystal on numerous times, I felt the energy from within my heart strengthen. So I felt like my heart was more like a lion. It felt like I was more like a warrior. I felt like I'd cleansed my heart in a way that I was stronger in all aspects of my being at that day. I didn't feel as if I had moments of doubt. I didn't feel like I had moments of depression, because sometimes you feel it's not depression, it's just a feeling of overwhelming what the hell is going on in the world, and then you feel bad for the world and what's happening. That energy disappeared. Okay, it went. And I was feeling more that, I think I said it at the beginning of this video, you're more aware of what's going on, and there's an acceptance. So it's like, yes, I feel it, but it's okay, everything's fine. So Libyan desert turns negative situations into acceptable and acceptable situations that you can let go of and you're not holding on to. So I would say it's true to say that Libyan desert helps you let go of negative thought patterns. Other things that Libyan desert does. I was doing a reading, a psychic reading with my cards, and I held the Libyan desert in my left hand, and I started turning some cards over. As I was attuning to the cards, I could clearly see very deep. So there is a definite energy of psychic awareness being enhanced. That is for sure. I felt more comfortable. I felt more, there's a word that I wanted to use. It was like when I was reading the cards, it was like, this is genuine. I know this is real. I'm not worried about saying it. I'm not making a mistake. It was like everything that I was saying was being confirmed with the Libyan desert. It was like the Libyan desert was saying, it's okay, say these things because this is right. So you have a feeling of, sometimes if you're a reader, sometimes you're, okay, is this right? Should I say it? Shouldn't I say it? It's kind of like, and I guess the word you could use is confidence when you're doing your psychic work. So I felt more confident when it was in my hand, when it was around my neck. I felt more confident. So it was like, yeah, brilliant, brilliant read. And you're only as good as your last reading. That's my understanding of the psychic world, because it's practice and you've got to, work at it. Was there anything about this crystal that made my body feel any better in a physical manner? In a physical manner, I felt more balanced within my body. I felt like, hey, everything's okay. There's not to worry about. Everything's fine. I'm not in pain or anything like that. It was like when you wear it, you feel a lot more balanced. So the only conclusion I got with that was it strengthens a certain part of the body that then helps you not feel pain in the physical. So imagine you've got a little muscle in your body, and that muscle, if it's strong, then any physical movement, bending or back or any pain that would be felt if that muscle was raw and red, and then it would feel all the pain, it's no longer, because it's so strong. It feels strong, the muscle's strong, so you can cope with things more. Things don't hurt as much. You don't feel pain as much, right? So it's kind of like, I don't like the word painkillers because they're dangerous. Stay away from them. But it's like a genuine, healthy, organic, natural painkiller, because it strengthens the body not to feel as much pain. So that's what I felt with Libyan Desert. That was, to me, one of the main things that I felt. My whole body felt stronger and it didn't feel as much pain at all when wearing it. So I'm trying to go through the aspects of this crystal so you can see where I'm coming. Now, some people say that Libyan Desert is this magical crystal like Moldavite. Up to this moment, in my humble opinion, it's a beautiful crystal. It is a beautiful crystal. It's a shame I didn't work with it 10 years ago, I have to admit. But would I change the fact that I worked with Moldavite rather than Libyan Desert? I wouldn't change it for a moment. Is it the same energy as Moldavite? Not in my understanding thus far. Not unless something happens in the next few weeks. Is it a beautiful crystal? It is a beautiful crystal. Has it got magical energy in there that I don't know about yet? I think my heart is saying you don't know it yet, Mark. You're only just beginning. So my understanding as a crystal healer is what I understand now at this moment for the past weeks that I've worked with it. I understand why people love it. I get that completely. Am I happy to have it in my collection? Actually, I am. Mark, is there anything that you would say about Libyan Desert that you found fascinating? Yes, it works amazing with one crystal, and I've worked with this crystal thus far with about 200. The reason why is because I want to know which crystal aligns with it, which works well with it. So I've got to say that Tektite works best with it thus far. So these two together, the Tektite from Thailand up against this one, I would say like this, is beautiful. So I'm working on that, and I think I may just get some created because they're a beautiful crystal together. I do like it. I have to admit, I do like it. I've got to say, I do like it. Headaches disappear. Eyes have become stronger. bones, my bones have felt, I mean, I struggle with my knees because I had a motorbike accident. Since I've worn it, I don't have that pain in, so bones are fine, strong. Down below, personal things down below have just cleared. It may have been because of the parasite tea as well, but it certainly helped clear my, I believe, what's it called now? Candida, that kind of energy stuff, even though I don't eat sugar. We're clearing out 30, 40 years of eating sugar all my life. I've got to say that Libyan desert certainly helps detoxify the body and clear it and make it healthier. So I've never felt as healthy as I do right now. So I can only put it down to the Libyan desert and my teas. I meditate the same, listen to the same music, eat the same food. The only thing that I've done differently is wear Libyan desert. So yeah, I've got to say it's a positive crystal. I've been and had a few meetings with certain people that, you know, I struggle with. I didn't struggle with them at all. So that means that you're again, I think right at the beginning of this video I mentioned awareness, and you become aware. And when you're aware of something, so you know, when you're not aware of something, it gets you upset. You get upset. You don't get it, so you get mad. I don't get it. I don't understand it. You get upset or frustrated or fearful. But wearing Libyan desert, it raises your awareness. So this is a psychic crystal. It is a crystal that heightens your attunement. It definitely heightens your intuition. Definitely. There's no way you'll be screaming saying, oh, it does a lot more. It probably does. But I'm trying to explain to you what I felt over these few weeks. Okay? So it's a good sign. And bear in mind, I've never worked with it before. I've tried it before. I never attuned to it because I was working with Moldavite. I was busy with Moldavite. All the other crystals is different, but when you bring me another Tektite, nah, I'm okay. I'm sticking with Moldavite. Thanks very much. I'm sticking with Tektite. I'm okay. I've got enough. But actually, it's nice to be able to, you know, be involved with a new crystal and feel it. And I think most of it was my stubbornness of people being quite horrible about Tektite, you know. I mean, I have no issues with flat earth, but I have the issues with people pushing it. Just don't be pushing and stop being horrible. Just be nice when you're and maybe people will be more interested in working with Libyan. Honestly, just be nice to people and say, hey, have you tried this? No, I haven't. Great idea. But people were being horrible, nasty with it. And I'm thinking, are you doing it for the sake of just because you're trying to sell it? Because a lot of these people actually sell it. So I don't buy into that. But there is something with it. And I got this collection here. I've had them for a while now. The collection here. So I've worked with each one of them, and it has been a joy. I have to admit, it's been a joy. I've really enjoyed it, and I felt completely at peace. So it's a great crystal to make you feel at peace, for sure. You feel balanced, you feel aware, and things just work out because I think you become aware of how to work things out. If you were to ask me on my personal opinion, who would benefit from this crystal? And that would be a really good question. You know, people who are stubborn. You know, people who are angry. You know, people who have no time or patience. You know, people who get angry and knee-jerk quickly. I would say that this is the perfect crystal for them because I am that person too. But I have become a lot more balanced on those emotions. What's the difference between Libyan desert and Libyan desert Tektite and Moldavite Tektite? They're worlds apart. They're worlds apart, in my opinion, at the moment. I wouldn't give a Moldavite to somebody in the same way as I would a Libyan desert. be a completely different person and completely different energies. Meaning that if you're beginning the journey of awakening, or even that you don't know about awakening, I'd probably opt for Libyan desert. If somebody is wanting to move forward from their spiritual journey, that they've got to a certain point and they can't move any further, so they've been to yoga, Reiki, whatever healing, whatever spiritual awareness and masters that you meet, put a piece of Moldavite on, and that's where I'd be more comfortable with. Try this, because now it might blow you away and you might, be flying in a different direction. Not to talk about Moldavite, but let's stick with Libyan desert. Best crystal to have it with thus far is tektite. Cambodia, Thailand, that kind of tektite, beautiful, black, juicy tektite, put them together. So within and the reason why is because within Libyan desert, I noticed that it clears a lot of trauma, suffering, and worries and fears. And to absorb that, the tektite absolutely is there hand in hand, so they work together. Children, I think it's a beautiful crystal for children. I think children would get a lot from this crystal, and it's great. It really is. Like I said, children are kids who see far more than what we do. We've lost our ability to see as adults, whereas children do. So it makes perfect sense to say, well, if Mark has worked on it and he says that it makes people aware and understand the situation, then I guess that if you've been bullied and you're wearing it, then you can understand the situation and accept the situation, which I believe it's an awareness and an acceptance crystal. So yeah, a bit like Cavansite, a beautiful acceptance crystal. So thus far, this is my understanding. Is that set in stone? It's not. Could it change throughout the week and month? Of course it could. Could I all of a sudden explode into this psychic awareness and start to do things that I've never done before and experience things that I've never experienced before? There's no reason why not. And I am loving it, and I'm open to it every day, to the changes within my body. And all I can tell you is this: at this moment, since wearing it, I have improved my energetic field by, I'd say, at least 10%, and I'm pretty strong to begin with. So it's heightened my awareness, health, well-being, at least 10% in these few weeks alone. Do I like wearing it? Well, I haven't taken it off. There's something in that. If I've not taken it off, there's a reason why. It means that my body is liking it. So do I like it? Yes, I do. I have no idea about Libyan desert, whether they're faking it or not. So don't ask me. I only can tell you about other crystals. This is brand new to me. So all I know is where I bought it from is one of my most trusted cherry pickers, I call them. They pick out the best of the best out of thousands, and then I buy them. And I've trusted this person for 2 decades now. So I have no issue at all with these crystals, that they are genuine. You probably have more understanding than Libyan desert than I do. That is my conclusion thus far. I shall make another video in a few more months and update you with anything else I feel about this crystal. So maybe you can share your truth underneath here and tell me what you feel. That'll be wonderful, so everybody else can talk about it. And if you haven't heard of Libyan desert, I hope that I have done it a little bit of justice, and I hope I haven't upset any of you guys by not blowing it out of proportion and saying how incredible it is. But I haven't felt that yet. But that doesn't mean it isn't there. Remember, when people say I haven't felt anything with Moldavite, that doesn't mean it doesn't work, but it might work on certain people. So you might even get blown away by it, and I'm very interested if you are. Let me know. So I shall be putting a few pieces up because they're ready. They were ready yesterday actually. So there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. There's about 18 pieces of Libyan desert that I have here. I am working on some Libyan desert over there as well, a bag full over there, which are pretty. And I think I've come to the point where I think maybe now I'm going to invest and get some Tektites, black Tektites, and make them up as a nice prototype, because I think you might be quite pleased with it. I think I am. So thus far, I'm pleased. So have a great day, guys. Yeah, I feel a lot more balanced. I feel a lot more calm wearing it. And that's a pretty good thing, guys. That's a pretty good thing right now with all the madness that's going on. So go to your local crystal store today, support them. Say, hi guys, could you get me a piece of Libyan desert? And yeah, support your local store. Take care. Have a great day.